Hey guys, so just got back from a pre-screening of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. But before I get into that review, I want to send a special thank you to a very special friend of mine, um, Cheyenne, who I told you that I would mention you in my video, and I wanted to send a very special thank you again for giving me the Regal gift card that she did on my birthday. She's my best friend at work, for anybody who wants to know. She gave me a Regal gift card for my birthday, which was this past Sunday, and I because of that, I only had to pay $3.50 to go see this movie. Can't really complain. Hey, I was looking forward to this movie anyway, so I mean, I didn't mind if I had to pay full price, but hey, if I only had to pay $3.50, I'm not complaining. Again, means a lot. Thank you very much. Thanks for making my birthday a very special one, even though I had to work. And also, Ron Swanson. Alright, now that I got that out of the way, I know probably a lot of people are like, what the fuck are you talking about? Just had to send a special message to a very special friend of mine. Anyways, let's get into the review. Going into this movie, I was really looking forward to it. I've been talking about this for months, especially since I've seen the trailers for this film. Every time I saw a new trailer for this, I fell in love with this movie. I was in love with this movie. I loved Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I was a big fan of it. I thought it was a really good reboot of the Planet of the Apes franchise. And that's saying something because, honestly, I know I'm going to probably get a lot of shit for this, but I was never really a big fan of Planet of the Apes growing up. And it was just not my thing. It's not a diss towards the movie. I don't think the movie's horrible or anything like that. There's a lot of things about the movie I can appreciate, like the makeup effects, all that stuff like that. The story is pretty unique, too. I just never really got into it. I don't know why. Charlton Heston is Charlton Heston. He's awesome. It's been a long time since I've seen it, and I gotta watch it again. I have seen the fucking Tim Burton remake. God, Jesus. I don't ever want to talk about that. That is a piece of shit. But luckily, Rise of the Planet of the Apes is a really goddamn good movie. It was a really good movie. And definitely got a lot of people more interested in Planet of the Apes again. And I, like a lot of people, wanted to see a sequel. And the trailers for this movie were phenomenal. Particularly, I was sold on the fact that it was going to be apes with guns on horseback. That just blew my mind every time I saw that on the screen. Every time I saw that trailer on the screen, it just fucking blew my mind. There's gonna be apes on horseback with guns. That's gonna be fucking awesome. I was like, this movie's gonna be fucking awesome. And the reviews have been phenomenal for this film. Some of the best of the year. Some people, I heard a review say, no joke, I heard a review say that this does to Rise of the Planet of the Apes. This is like the predecessor, or this is the follow up, to Rise of the Planet of the Apes, like Empire Strikes Back was to Star Wars, and the fact that it's better than the first. So I was like, man, when you're comparing your movie to Empire Strikes Back, that's a pretty big praise, in my opinion. That's my opinion, probably the greatest sequel of all time. You know what? This movie is fucking great. This movie, seriously, I almost wanted. I'm almost serious when I say this. That I would tell you, quit watching the review right now. Just go fucking see the movie, and then come back and watch the movie, because I can't do this movie justice. You have to see this fucking movie. And I probably will get into some spoilers. I will tell you that right now. I'm going to try not to go very spoiler heavy, but some of the things I will talk about could be very spoilerish, if that's a word. Yeah, this is, this movie is great. I can't recommend this movie enough. This is one of the best films of the year and also the best film of the summer. I'm gonna go on a little rant here for a second, but after this movie, I kind of got pissed in the fact that Andy Serkis still has not fucking won an Oscar, and if he does not win a fucking Oscar because of this fucking film, I'm gonna be pissed, or even get fucking nominated. He deserves to fucking get nominated. This guy pulls a damn good performance. Has and it makes the character of Caesar a really compelling, interesting, human-like character, even if it's an ape. The motion capture technology in this movie, first off, is far better than it was in the first one. That was one of my complaints about the first one, and the fact that some of the times it did look a little cartoonish, but in this one, it's improved a lot. You can tell that the technology has improved, and it looks a lot better and a lot more crisp than it did in the first one. And Andy Serkis pulls off a really good performance. He brings a lot of emotional depth to the character Caesar, even if he is playing an ape. If you've never seen the stuff Andy Serkis is one of the hardest working sons of bitches in Hollywood. Seriously, if you don't believe me, go and watch behind the scenes footage of him playing Gollum, Caesar, or fucking even King Kong, where he embodies that character. Even if it's a fucking ape, he embodies that character. He does crazy things just to pull off a really good performance. And he is really good in this movie. He definitely brings that character to life. Honestly, and this is not a diss towards the human characters at all, I thought the best parts of this movie were with the apes. The apes were probably the most compelling and likable characters in this movie, honestly, and the most enjoyable. Also, really enjoyed out of the other ape that I really enjoyed out of all of them was Koba. My God, I said this about this character in the first or Rise of the Planet of the Apes. If you don't know who Koba is, he's the one that has all the scars on his face and looks fucking scary as shit. You know who I'm talking about. He has a really big role in this movie. Really big role. He is kind of like Caesar's kind of second in command. He's almost like his general. He's loyal to Caesar to a point. But he is really good, and he's fucking menacing. And spoiler alert, he does become the villain by the end of this movie. You do understand his motivations and why he hates humans as much as he does. He is a three-dimensional character, so is Caesar. And that's pretty crazy in the fact that they're both CGI apes. That they're very good three-dimensional characters. Because you understand their motivations as to why they're doing what they're doing. You understand why Koba hates humans so much, and you understand why Caesar wants to be sympathetic towards humans. You understand all that. Also, Koba is a sympathetic character. He is, honestly, for the first half of the movie. You can, like I said, you understand his motivations, but then he becomes a very despicable fucking ape, I guess. I almost said human being. No, he wouldn't be a human being. He would be an ape. He is very despicable towards the end. He becomes basically Judas. Honestly, the last half of the movie, this is going to kind of get the spoiler, have a little bit of spoiler, but this movie kind of becomes the last half of The Lion King, honestly. It does, seriously. The last half of this movie becomes the last half of The Lion King, which is weird, but whatever. Seriously, there's some parts of this movie that will remind you of The Lion King. Trust me, I'm not joking. What else? And while I say, I thought the most compelling stuff with was with the apes, I can't really diss the human actors in this movie, really. I thought Jason Clarke is a really good lead. I knew he was going to be the lead in this movie when it came to the human actors. It was obvious from the trailers that he would be. He is really good. You understand his motivations. He's a three-dimensional character. Pretty much everybody, honestly, most people are. He's probably the most three-dimensional out of all of them. Kerry Russell's fine in this as his wife, girlfriend. I don't know, because he was married at one point, and she had a kid at another point. At one point, also. But both his wife and her kid died, and they kind of now a couple, and they apparently adopted Cody Smith McPhee, who's also in this movie, as their adopted son, I guess. Because it has to be their adopted son, because there's no fucking way they had that kid. There's no way. I'm telling you right now, there's no way they had that kid. Because this movie only takes place 10 years after the events of the first one, so there's no way. Just thinking logically, there's no way. So I'm assuming they didn't really ever explain that, but I'm thinking that is their adopted son. I don't know. Maybe they did mention that, but I did not catch that whatsoever. Yeah, but like, if there was one thing I could complain about, is that the most underutilized, in my opinion, person in this movie is fucking Gary Oldman. He is in this movie a pretty good amount, but not enough in my opinion. There's like long stretches of time where he's not in this movie. You're like, fuck, like, and every time he's in it, he's phenomenal. He's fucking Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman's one of the greatest actors out there right now, and he can act his way out of anything, and he's really fucking good in this movie. Every scene I see him in, he's definitely really good in this film. He definitely is one of the best actors in this film. I thought, like, when I want to go back to the Apes for a second, one of the best sequences in this whole movie is the opening 5 minutes of this film. Seriously, I think there's some people need, like, filmmakers out there should take like notes from the first 5 minutes of this film. Seriously, 5 minutes. The first 5 minutes are no dialogue whatsoever. It's just showing what the apes are doing nowadays. It's showing their community that they live in, how they live a peaceful life in this little community that they have built, and it's only them talking through sign language, and there is like subtitles that show you what they're saying through sign language. Honestly, didn't really need that, because most of the time, you can just for the hand gestures you could figure out what they were saying. I kind of could have dealt without it, but whatever. There are other times where the sign language or the subtitles are needed, but other than that, the like, there's like no dialogue whatsoever. There's monkeys, stuff like that, and that's about it. That's the only sound you hear for the first 5 minutes, and it's really good. It's probably it's one of the best opening sequences I've seen in a long fucking time. It's really, really good. I really recommend checking that out. And honestly, you could have had a whole movie just about the apes and showing the community that they lived in, and it would have been good. I'm sure people would have complained about that, so whatever. And I was worried, like, after that scene happened, that, like, once the humans would show up, the movie would go downhill from there. It didn't. It didn't. Luckily, it didn't. I was worried at first because, like, I found myself more interested in the apes than humans. But as the movie progressed, I was interesting human story also. So I mean, props to them for that too. I'm trying to think what else. I guess I could talk about the thing that sold me on this movie. The scene where the apes are on horseback with guns. Um, and honestly, the poster and the trailer are kind of misleading. Particularly the poster for this movie, because I was looking at the poster and it shows on the poster Caesar on horseback with a gun, like leading the apes into battle. It's not Caesar that's doing it. It's Koba that's doing that. He wants to start a war with the humans. Caesar doesn't. And that was kind of misleading, but that sequence is really cool. It's like that scene you see in the trailer is just like one. I think it's like about a 10-minute sequence, and it's really good. It's like a shootout between the humans and the apes, and honestly, it's about as realistic as it gets. I mean, about as realistic, I guess, as it will get with apes on horseback with machine guns. But like the apes, like seem like they don't know what the hell they're doing. They're kind of at first are like really trying to learn how to shoot these guns, honestly. But then they get really good at it. They kind of like apes die. A lot of apes fucking die, like in that action sequence, and a lot of humans do too. It's a really good sequence. It is really cool. I heard a couple people like in the background laughing at moments that weren't really funny. This is a movie that it has a silly kind of concept, but like the fact that there's apes with guns on horseback, that is kind of silly. But honestly, I was so invested in this movie, and like I like when the movie got intense, I was into it. When the movie there were funny moments in this movie. When the movie was funny, it was funny. But when this movie got intense, it got fucking intense. And that scene was pretty goddamn intense. It was really good. There's not really any unintentional funny moments in this movie. I don't know what the fuck the people behind me were laughing about, honestly. You're like, you gotta get over the fact, you're fucking watching a movie about apes that take over a world and live in a community that can talk. I mean, it's already a pretty absurd idea, and pretty much you know what you're getting into. I don't know why the fuck you think that's funny. Yeah, I don't want. I'm trying not to be spoiling it too much. I kind of did a little bit about the Koba stuff, but whatever. What a shock! Koba's the villain. Honestly, I thought Gary Oldman was gonna be the villain, but no, he doesn't. I have a feeling that he'll be the villain in the third one, though. They set up he's gonna be the villain in the third one, I think. Yeah, there's definitely gonna be a third one. I hope to fucking god there's a third one. I really hope that this movie doesn't fail and then they don't make a third one. That would piss me off. Really will. That would really piss me off. Because this movie sets up a third movie. Easily. The third movie is obviously gonna be, like, it sets up that the third movie is gonna be a full all-out war between the humans and the apes, which could be really cool. Although at the same time, movies like this where sequel is better than the first, even though the first one is really good, the third one always sucks. So I'm kind of worried. That's like a written rule that the third movie always sucks in a trilogy. So I'm hoping that this movie will be an exception, but I don't know. We'll see. Also, I'm really interested. Like, I know this movie is kind of treated as a prequel, but really this movie is more of a reboot than a prequel, because they are going different routes. Because, like, if it was a prequel, it should lead you right into the first movie. But no, this movie kind of just goes different routes than you would think it would. And I like that too. If it is a prequel, I'm wondering you know, it doesn't really show any hints of, you know, to the point that Caesar ends up uh, uh, enslaving the humans. I don't see where that will come into play. I don't know if that will or won't by the end of end of the third film. I don't know. We'll see. Um, Maybe it will. It has to. I think. Because he has a love for humans. I wouldn't think he would want to enslave them, but I don't know. We'll see. Now, I guess go see that movie. By the way, definitely go see Donnie Planet of the Apes. I don't think I really got much more to talk about with that movie. I got trailers. I got all the trailers I got with this movie were all new trailers I have not gotten before. So yeah, here there's a lot of them. Exodus, Gods and Kings, which is the Moses, the movie about Moses, that's being directed by Ridley Scott. Cool. It's starring Christian Bale as playing Moses. Cool. But where I have a problem with this movie is that, damn it, what's his name? The brother of Moses. Man, his name's escaping me. The Egyptian, prince or king. It was obvious and it was distracting in the trailer when he pops up in the movie that doesn't look like, that definitely looks like a white guy trying to play an Egyptian. And guess what? Guess who's playing him? Joel Edgerton. If you don't know who Joel Edgerton is, give you a good hint. He was the guy who was dating. He was married to Daisy in the recent Great Gatsby movie. Yeah, he's about as white as it comes. What the fuck, Hollywood? Seriously, what the fuck? I mean, that's really fucking distracting when you find out it's Joel Edgerton playing the brother. I fucking forget the goddamn name. I've heard the story of Moses so many damn times I'm forgetting it. But at the same time, I'm kind of intrigued because it is Ridley Scott. I like Ridley Scott. But still, Joel Edgerton. What the fuck? The Maze Runners. Pfft, what the fuck is that? It looks like, I don't even know what the fuck that was. The Maze Runner. It's based off a best-selling novel. What a shock! Teenage novel, I guess, about kids that are running a maze. Woohoo! What? I don't. Somebody can explain to me what the fuck that is all about. I don't care. Why should I care, anyways? Equalizer. This movie looks awesome. It's Denzel Washington and director. It's from the director of Training Day, and it's Denzel Washington going around being a fucking vigilante, just going killing people, that are doing crimes. That sounds fucking awesome. I can get behind that really much, a lot. And it's being directed by the guy who made Training Day, so fuck it, why not? The Judge, Robert Downey Jr., Robert Duvall, Vera Farmiga, and Billy Bob Thornton. In a movie where Robert Downey Jr.'s mom dies and he has to go see his long estranged dad, who is Robert Duvall, and his dad ended up killing somebody by running them over. I almost thought about it for a second after I left the theater that are they hinting that he killed the mom? Maybe I don't know, or did he kill somebody else? I don't know, but. Robert Duvall is a former judge, and Robert Downey Jr. is a lawyer, and he has to defend. Robert Downey Jr. obviously is going to defend his dad in court. It's one of those it looks like a stupid little family drama that I probably would never care about, but it's got a really good cast, so I'm fucking there. I'm probably definitely Robert Downey Jr. Maybe Robert Downey Jr. will get an Oscar finally, maybe. Unbroken. I got the trailer for Unbroken. This movie, if you don't know, is based off the incredible true story about this World War II prisoner of war veteran who uh, has a really incredible true story. Like basically, he was an Olympic runner who went to World War II. His plane was shot down. He was on a raft with like the survivors of the plane crash in the middle of the ocean for like 47 days, and he finally gets to land, and it's Japanese. The Japanese, it's like a Japanese island where he's put into imprisonment camps for like 2.5 years and is tortured. It's like a fucking crazy story. It's really good. And this guy just passed away. He was 97. He just passed away about a week ago. And that could be really good. It's Angelina Jolie directing, and I've never seen her direct a movie before. I know she did one before. I think it was The Land of Honey, Blood and Honey, which I never saw, but I don't know. It looks really good. Sin City, A Dame to Kill For, the new trailer. I got the new trailer for that. I'm hoping that's good. I really do. Robert Rodriguez hasn't made a really good movie in a while, so who knows? And it's unfortunately being directed by Frank Miller too. No Quentin Tarantino involvement. I'm hoping that's really good. This movie fucking took 10 years to make, so I'm hoping it's worth the fucking wait, but it probably won't. I really hope that's good. I really do. It's got Mickey Rourke coming back. You got Josh Brolin. You got fucking Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Dude, fucking got Jessica Alba, which is a downside, but whatever. I'm hoping that's good. I mean, we've waited about almost 10 years for the fucking movie. And then I got a teaser for The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1, which is more of like a viral campaign for the movie. It was like a message. I've seen the one online a couple weeks ago where Donald Sutherland playing President Snow, where he's addressing the citizens of Pan Am, and it's basically the same thing, where Donald Sutherland's addressing the citizens of Pan Am, and then it's like a video feed starts cutting in, and it's Jeffrey Wright saying the Mockingjay is still alive, and then that's it. That's all it is. Whatever. Okay, I kind of like the little campaign that they're starting with that. That's fine, because it's a revolution that's starting. I can get behind it. I'm hoping. I know it's. I've heard from a lot of people that have read that or that are fans of the book that tell me that book is shit. Although I've read what's supposed to happen in that book, and it sounds dark as fuck. So I'm kind of want to see this. I want to see how fucking dark this movie will get. I do. I really do. I want to see how fucking dark it. And that's it with the trailers. Man, I'm almost been on here for 30 minutes, so I'm gonna get off here. Won't be back until probably the 21st, the latest. I'm about to go on vacation, so until then, I'll probably be back with something like The Purge Anarchy, I think maybe, or Sex Tape or whatever the hell. It will depend on what I feel like seeing. I don't know. Probably most likely to be Purge Anarchy, but we'll see. Until then, I'll see you guys later.